Right now, clear skies ahead for a day of Badger football. The countdown to kickoff is on, and Chris has your tailgating forecast. And we have your game day preview of that first matchup in Madtown this season. What to watch for this afternoon.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning and happy game day. I'm Christina Lord, meteorologist Chris Reese, and I see you have your Badger red on.
I sure do. We're kicking off football season, and I'm here for support. That's what we're doing.
I don't know if I'm ready to fully go headfirst in Badgers. I am from the Chicago area, so I get a little slack that I can root for the Illini.
I understand.
They're not a threat at all to the Badgers.
Well,
sorry, Dad.
You know, the Western Kentucky University Hilltoppers are all red as well, so I get to support both teams. That's what we're going to do.
So you already have a lot in your wardrobe.
Exactly. I'm covered with red and white in my wardrobe from college. And now I'm in Madison. The sky will not be red, but we'll at least see some blue early this morning before I think a little bit of gray tries to take over. Clear skies right now. We have a temperature of 51 degrees. Those temperatures have been allowed to drop substantially with the clear skies in a lot of spots. Winds are calm as well. Yesterday it was downright breezy with that strong northerly and northwesterly wind throughout the area. That's relaxed. You get clear skies and a calm wind, and temperatures are able to do their thing, and that is bottom out. So 51 right now, 47 in Black River Falls. A lot of folks are holding steady into the 50s, though, so that's certainly good news. We may drop a couple more degrees as we go through the morning, but here's the deal. We are a lot colder this morning as opposed to yesterday morning. Yesterday morning had a lot of cloud cover that kept us warm. Today, of course, the opposite of that. But we are watching more cloud cover trying to stream in from the north and west as we speak. That's as the next disturbance moves our direction. I don't think it'll bring us rain today, but we will likely see the clouds on the increase today. Upper 60s by lunchtime. We'll top out around 71 later on this afternoon.
Looks like a perfect afternoon for some Badger football.
Not a bad afternoon at all. I think the clouds might freak some people out a little bit, seeing them stroll in, but I do think we'll be dry.
Hopefully they watch our show, then they would know it was not raining.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Chris.
My pleasure.
Now to the latest on Hurricane Dorian, which slammed into North Carolina's Outer Banks overnight as it heads back out to sea. Now forecasters say the storm may skirt the coast of New England this weekend, and hurricane and tropical storm warnings and watches are still in effect as far north as Canada throughout the weekend. That means rain, wind, and flooding for the millions who live there. The now Category 1 storm still comes with 90-mile-an-hour winds. Meanwhile, relief efforts are underway in the Bahamas, where some areas were reduced to rubble. There are new reports that the Prime Minister's office is saying the death toll has risen to at least 43. Many of the survivors are now homeless and have spent much of the week living in an airport, waiting for their turn to evacuate.
Abaco has always been my home.
What do you have left?
I don't have nothing but me and my kids.
The UN says more than 76,000 people living in the Bahamas are in urgent need of food and water. So if you're looking to help to those affected by Hurricane Dorian, you'll want to make sure your money is being sent to the right places. The Better Business Bureau wants to make sure you're only giving to experienced disaster relief organizations. You can do that by verifying the trustworthiness of soliciting relief organizations at give.org. See if the charity has an on-the-ground presence in the impacted areas, find out if the charity is providing direct aid, and also do your research on crowdfunding to make sure you understand how it works. For more ways to avoid being scammed, just visit the BBB's website. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, Los Angeles firefighters are still trying to put out a brush fire this morning, which started as a structure fire, then spread. It's on North Beverly Drive near Beverly Hills, and right now is about 2 acres in size. Firefighting helicopters were seen out overnight trying to put out the large flames. The 25-year-old son of former Governor Scott Walker is considering running for Congress. In an interview, Walker said his son, Matt, is interested in the suburban Milwaukee seat being vacated by retiring Republican U.S. Representative Jen Sensenbrenner. If he does run, he could be going up against some of the most powerful Republicans in the state, including Leah Vukmir and Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald. The Foxconn executive who has represented the company's project in Wisconsin is stepping down from his position. Foxconn says Louis Wu has relinquished his project responsibilities to focus on addressing some personal matters. The company now says Jay Lee, a deputy chairman and board member, will take over that role. More local news now. Dane County's Henry Vilas Zoo has earned its accreditation from the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. County Executive Joe Parisi, Zoo Director Rhonda Schwetz, and zoo staff attended the annual accreditation conference in New Orleans. They presented exciting plans for the future, including new expanded hours that'll take effect next year. From Memorial Day until Labor Day, the zoo will be open until 8 o'clock. Admission is free. The Accreditation Association's president says the distinction means visitors can be assured their visit is supporting a facility that provides the highest quality animal care and welfare and is contributing to initiatives that save animals from extinction. Less than 10% of the nearly 2,800 wildlife exhibitors licensed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture received the accreditation. The two women who accused Badgers receiver Quintez Cephas of sexual assault have hired a prominent attorney to investigate the university's decision to reinstate him following his acquittal. The women have hired John Clune. He represented Deborah Ramirez, who last year accused U.S. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh of exposing himself to her back in the 1980s. Clune also represented a woman in 2004 who accused then NBA star Kobe Bryant of sexual assault. University officials reinstated Cephas and let him rejoin the football team after an injury. A jury acquitted him last month. It's game day, Badger fans. The Badgers are now 17th in the country heading into their first home game of the season. Wisconsin was previously ranked 19th in last week's AP Top 25 college football poll, but after a dominating performance against South Florida last week, they've moved on up. 7 Big Ten teams are ranked in this week's poll. And today is the start of a 5-game homestand for the Badgers. They won't have a road game until they head to Illinois on October 19th. Here's our Melissa Kim with 3 things to watch during the game.
Well, we've got the J.J. Watt Bowl today for the Badgers home opener. Wisconsin hosting Central Michigan, which was almost J.J. Watt's alma mater. He played his freshman season as a tight end for the Chippewas before he transferred to UW. So what to look for today? Well, all eyes on Jonathan Taylor. Definitely look for him to contribute early and a lot. He scored 4 touchdowns last week in Wisconsin's season opener. 2 of them were touchdown catches. Expect him to keep on doing that. JT continuing to write himself into the history books in a Badger uniform. Thing number 2 to look out for, another stingy performance from the defense. Defensive coordinator Jim Leonard has gotten his guys to work, only allowing a total of 157 yards last week against South Florida. That includes just 26 yards on the ground. And the defense loves to score too. The former walk-on Mac Henningsen with a pick 6 last week. Finally, there's no place like Camp Randall. Between jump around and the 5th quarter, the Badgers have won 23 straight home openers, and they're 35-point favorites against the Chippewas today.
Thank you for that, Melissa. 2.5 hours before kickoff, which is at 2:30 today, you can head out to the first Badger Bash of the season. That's outside Union South, where there will be free food, live music, and games for the whole family before every home game of the year. And you'll hear something new inside Camp Randall today, too. It's the first Badger game without band director Mike Leckrone, who stepped down after last season. This week, we got to meet Dr. Corey Pompey for the first time and sit in on his practice. He said he's not looking forward to the Wisconsin winters, but is so excited to work with a talented band. Pompey is keeping the traditional stop at the top move at the 5th quarter. And here's a preview of what you'll hear during today's halftime show.
For our first show, you can expect a little bit of Beyonce, The Killers, Jonas Brothers, and Adele, and all 4 of those tunes will be done in 3.5 minutes, but we'll touch each one of those things. The second show, we're planning to do a funk show.
Now, Pompey says he probably won't be flying in from the ceiling like Leckrone did, but he will be adding some big production value to future performances. From the Badgers to the Brewers, pretty much everything clicked for the Crew overnight as they made up some ground in the wild card, beating the Cubs 7-1. Christian Yelich slugged a 3-run homer, and Yasmani Grandal chipped in with a solo shot, too. This is just the latest in the Brewers' string of must-win games against their Central Division rival. First pitch tonight is at 6:10. Right now, the Brewers are 4 games back in the race for the second wild card. Well, time now, 5:09, and we're going to give you a live look over the Capitol, where vendors are getting ready for a hopefully busy day at the market. Chris has your full farmers market forecast. That's just ahead.
Well, it is football weekend here in Wisconsin, and I'll tell you what, the Badgers kick off later on this afternoon. We're going to be watching the forecast for that game. If you're headed out to tailgate, 69 degrees by 12 o'clock. The clouds, however, will be on the increase as we go through the afternoon. Look for mostly cloudy skies by 2:30, cloudy skies overall by 5 o'clock, and those temperatures will hold steady into the upper 60s and low 70s. So it will be seasonable. It'll feel like fall for football kickoff. Now, as you head out the door right now, 51 is our temperature in Madison. Most of us are into the 50s this morning. Black River Falls, though, a little bit cooler at 47 right now. Clear skies, though, and a calm wind. After yesterday was a very breezy day, things are a little bit more quiet to start things off. Here's high-resolution Doppler right now. Everything that you see that's green is actually a little bit of radar attenuation. It's picking up on some of the moisture in the atmosphere, but there's no rainfall coming down right now. We zoom things out across the upper Midwest. The one area where you may start to see some showers, that's going to be way back towards extreme southwestern Minnesota. All of this streaming in with some cloud cover that'll move through later on. As far as any precipitation, I think we're going to be staying dry as we go throughout the day. So that's certainly some good news as high pressure stays in control for us, but it's going to be sliding south. Eventually, this next area of low pressure, that's going to begin to work its way closer along with a warm front and a cold front. Look for more shower chances to develop ahead of that. And then eventually, this warm front lifts towards the north. That is when we'll begin to see more in the way of some warmer temperatures before another cool down towards the middle of the week. Let's go ahead and time out your day for you. You notice the cloud cover starting to increase from the north and west through the afternoon. Look for temperatures right around 71 for your highs today. Here comes more cloud cover overnight into your Sunday. The rain chances should hold off. By the time we get towards Sunday night, that's when we'll have the best chance of some rain in here. That'll likely linger into your Monday as well. But then watch the warm up. That's the warm front coming in 84 by Tuesday after being nearly 10 degrees below average for the weekend. And then eventually we'll cool things right back off moving into next week. Plenty of rain chances in your forecast. So none of these days are washouts. We'll see some cloudy gray days with some peaks of sun, but we will have at least the rain chances multiple days. And then next Saturday could be a chillier day, 66 before more rain chances next week. So we're transitioning.
But there's such a difference between rain when it's 80 outside than
Seriously,
rain in the 60s.
These are the days of thunderstorms and sunshine where it's very humid versus that cool fall-like cloudy rainy day. Yes, so two different types of rain.
Well, and I was also thinking the sickness type of rain. You know how you just, this time of year, you always kind of start to feel like you're getting something?
The allergies come out, all kinds of things. Hopefully that stays away for a bit.
Yeah, you're doing your part with the forecast. Thanks, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, new this morning, a recent CBS survey found 20% of kids between the ages of 6 and 17 didn't read any books at all during the summer of 2018. That percentage has been growing. In 2016, it was 15%. Students who don't read during summer break lose an average of 2 to 3 months of proficiency, according to the Department of Education. And over time, those months add up to years lost. By high school, 2/3 of the reading achievement gap can be attributed to summer learning loss during elementary school. Students in the Mount Horeb School District are enjoying upgrades in their classrooms and laboratories this school year. The renovations are officially complete after a ribbon-cutting ceremony Friday night at the district's high school. The safety and security systems were also upgraded. After years of planning, district officials say they're proud the $38.5 million renovations are finally finished.
We're always looking for ways in which we can help make our program even stronger. And by having the facilities necessary to take us to the next level, breakthrough levels, we've got them now. And that's a result of a very, very generous community.
So now the only thing left to do is put out a 2019 plaque into the exterior of the high school to commemorate the renovations, which will also include a time capsule. Time now 5:17, a new look for the young Pope and a first glance at a hit show hitting the big screen top this morning's trending headlines. Plus, there are several shows and movies you should find time for this weekend. Will shares his picks and 3 things to watch. That's just ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
Clear skies to start the day. Temperatures into the low 50s for a lot of spots. Madison at 51 degrees. Thankfully, the wind is calm, but there's a lot going on today. One of the other events going on is Chili Mania down in Edgerton. Look for temperatures into the 60s by 11. We'll top out at 74. And then those clouds will come in to spice up the sky as we move in towards the afternoon. Eventually, by 10 o'clock, as things begin to wrap up later on tonight, look for those lows, or temperatures anyway, falling back into the low 60s. Christina.
Thank you, Chris. Now my stomach is rumbling. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning. Jude Law is back as Pope Pius VIII, but this time he's strutting down the beach in a Speedo in the new trailer for the new Pope. The 8-episode drama is a continuation of the 2016 series, The Young Pope. It ended with Law's character in a coma, making way for John Malkovich to join the cast as the new Pope John Paul III. No word yet on when this new series will air on HBO. Apple TV's upcoming half-hour drama Dickinson will headline this year's Tribeca TV Festival in New York City later this month. Dickinson features Haley Steinfeld as the rebellious poet Emily Dickinson. Although the series is set in the 19th century, it takes on a modern twist depicting Dickinson and the era as less than proper and upright. No word yet on a premiere date for that. Downton Abbey fans will be happy to see Countess Violet Crawley hasn't lost any of her sassiness in the newest sneak peek of the upcoming film based on the popular TV series. Set in 1927, the story continues the saga of the Crawley family and its interactions with the servants as they prepare for a visit from King George V and Queen Mary. Downton Abbey, the movie, arrives in theaters in just 2 weeks on September 20th. But if you don't have to wait until then, rather, to watch something good, here are Will Loper's 3 Things picks for this weekend.
This is really awful. Maybe the worst thing I've ever seen.
What was it, wild animals?
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking zombies.
What?
New on digital HD this week is The Dead Don't Die.
You know, the undead. Ghouls.
Indie film director Jim Jarmusch puts his own comedic take on the zombie film with a star-studded cast that includes Tilda Swinton, Bill Murray, Adam Driver, and many more.
Flesh-eating zombies.
Don't joke, it's really, really creepy.
Oh, man. This isn't gonna end well. They gravitate towards things they did when they were alive.
Coffee.
Chardonnay.
Did she just say Chardonnay?
Yeah, she did.
The Dead Don't Die is available on digital HD now.
I've been telling you this is all gonna end badly.
Well, that's unfortunate. Who are you?
I'm Molly. I'm a new writer.
You want to sit down?
Okay.
That's where Madison sits.
Could you sit down, please?
Oh, I'll just use this trash can. There's hardly any trash in it at all. Oh, it's kind of comfortable, better than a chair.
Newly streaming on Amazon Prime this week is the comedy Late Night.
That's our show, everyone. I came to tell you this year is your last.
What? They can't replace you if everyone loves you.
Mindy Kaling stars as a writer brought into a late-night show writer's room dominated by men to help a failing late-night host played by Emma Thompson.
What exactly is wrong with my bits?
You're a little old and a little white.
What can I do about that?
I have some jokes for the monologue. I shouldn't do this in an English accent, should I?
No.
What?
Late Night is available to stream on Amazon Prime now.
Says here that you studied clowning at the Clown Française.
That's correct, at the Academy des Clowns and Francois.
Finally, this week, a very scary clown is in theaters, but there's a much nicer and funnier one on the show, Baskets. The award-winning series is on its 3rd season and follows Chip Baskets, played by Zach Galifianakis, as an aspiring clown trying to find his place in life.
I'm gonna have to get a real job.
This is a real job. We all can't be florists or dishwashers. Some of us have to be artists.
All 3 seasons of Baskets are available on digital or in stores.
Being a clown is the most important thing in the world to me.
You look like a clown, but you are not a clown.
I am a clown!
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
Thank you, Will. And there's much more ahead on News 3 Now this morning. Next, we're running through the day's top stories. Plus, the countdown to kickoff is on. What to know before you head down to Camp Randall for the Badgers' first home game of the season. We'll be right back. Nielsen says 76% of music listeners now stream their tunes. Musicians have not always been paid fairly for digital distribution of their work. The new law now helping them make more money off their music.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning and welcome to Badger Game Day on September 7th. I'm Christina Laurie. We'll get a check of your first alert game day forecast with Chris in just a second. But first, here are 3 things to know as you start your day. Hurricane Dorian is still a threat this weekend as it heads up the New England coast for one final hit here in the U.S. Hurricane and tropical storm warnings and watches are still in effect as far north as Canada throughout the weekend. That means rain, wind, and flooding for the millions of people who live there. The now Category 1 storm comes with 90-mile-an-hour winds. Meanwhile, relief efforts are underway in the Bahamas, where some areas were reduced to rubble. There are new reports that the Prime Minister's office is saying the death toll has risen to at least 43. The UN says more than 76,000 people in the Bahamas are in urgent need of food and water. If you're looking to help, make sure you know where your money is going. The BBB suggests you verify the trustworthiness of soliciting relief organizations at give.org. And the Badgers football team is getting ready for their first home opener at Camp Randall this afternoon. They're playing Central Michigan for a 2:30 kickoff. It's the start of a 5-game homestand for the Badgers. They won't have a road game until they head to Illinois on October 19th. And this week they moved up to number 17 in the AP Top 25 college football poll. Now here's meteorologist Chris Reese with your tailgating forecast. Hi, Chris.
Good morning, Christina. We're starting things out into the 50s. Madison is one of the colder spots at 51 degrees right now. Winds are calm, though. Yesterday, we had a strong northerly wind coming in, so it was an overall breezy day. Today, that is nowhere near the story. But again, we are a little bit cooler at 51, 47 and 49 in Watertown and Juneau, 47 in Black River Falls as well. Most of us, though, do see those temperatures that are into the 50s, so that's some good news. But it's still a lot cooler than it was 24 hours ago. Yesterday at this time, the temperature was 66 degrees, but that's because we had a lot of cloud cover yesterday. This morning, it is the clear skies that we do have in place. But more cloud cover will be moving in. Look just back towards the north and west. I do suspect the shower chances will hang back until Sunday, but we're going to notice a lot more cloud cover starting to stream in. So as you plan your Saturday, look for an increase in cloud cover throughout the day. 69 by the time we get you towards 12 o'clock. We'll top out right around 71, and that does include cloud cover for your tailgating forecast. If you're headed out right around lunchtime, we'll see a little bit more sunshine with temperatures around 69, but 71 and cloudy as we go through the rest of the afternoon. Christina.
Thank you, Chris. Congress heads back to work this Monday after a month-long recess, but it hasn't been until now that we're seeing the effects of some legislation passed last year. The Music Modernization Act aims to help artists make money every time their work is streamed. Former Arizona Senator and CBS News contributor Jeff Flake recently met singer Dionne Warwick. They talked about how the law will transform the music industry.
I've always loved Dionne Warwick. Her songs were the soundtrack at all my school dances.
And I know I'll never love this way again.
I know I'll never love this way again.
That was the last song that they would play, the one that everybody wanted to ask the prettiest girl to dance to.
Of course, because I'm never going to love this way again. I'll keep holding on. Okay.
If you see me walking down the street.
Today's streaming services play her iconic hits all the time.
Never fall in love again.
But Warwick often doesn't see a dime.
Never fall in love again.
What do you mean? Every time your record is played, you don't get paid? No, I don't get paid.
Any song she recorded before 1972 had zero protection under federal copyright law.
I sailed in a river, yeah.
Until now.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, Congress has been pretty dysfunctional.
Really?
and so to have something like the Music Modernization Act embraced by virtually everyone.
Everyone, yes.
And passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. I can tell you from experience that doesn't happen very often.
Tell me about it. You know how long it took to get it to that point?
Last year, Warwick and legend Smokey Robinson went to Congress. Robinson testified that this was a livelihood thing.
An arbitrary date on the calendar should not be the arbiter of value.
Well, how were you able to come together with those who stream music, the labels and everyone?
Yeah, well,
because they had to all be on board.
It's like pulling hen's teeth, and you know hen don't have teeth. If I don't make a record, you can't play it.
I think the relationship is one of we both need each other.
David Israelite and Garrett Levin represent opposing sides in the music business.
I represent all of the music publishers in the United States and their songwriter partners.
I represent the digital music streaming services, Apple Music, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Pandora.
All these parties came to the table in part because of copyright lawsuits.
Not only were the services getting sued, but songwriters weren't actually getting paid because of long-standing challenges and actually finding the right people who are owed the money. That kind of lose-lose situation is the alchemy that kind of brought everyone to the table to say, how do we get to the art of the possible?
We're done.
Israelite has been working to pass the legislation for about 10 years.
I actually think one of the reasons why this happened is because Washington has become such a difficult place to get things done. Instead of going to Congress and each fighting for our own interests and probably getting nothing, we all understood that the only way we would get legislation is if we could figure it out ourselves and agree.
They agreed to build a licensing system. It simplifies how the streaming services pay songwriters. Dionne Warwick is thankful for that.
What would be your message to the Congress on issues like immigration or gun policy or other things that have been so intractable.
Once we all realize that we're human beings, that God put us all here on this earth to be of service to each other, we've become a nation of I, me, my. What happened to we and us? You know, I think that's where we have to get back to.
That's what friends are for.
More local news now. You'll see some new faces on patrol this weekend across the state of Wisconsin. The Dane County Sheriff's Office is welcoming 20 new deputies to its force. They celebrated graduation from the 4-month training academy Friday night at Middleton High School. Chief Deputy Jeff Hook offered his words of advice and wisdom to the incoming class.
You will see and experience things that will change your life view, your very soul. And the great challenge is to have those experiences enhance your love of people and your desire to serve.
With a Bachelor of Science degree.
The Dane County Sheriff's Office has more than 450 sworn staff who serve in a range of roles from patrol and investigative teams to courthouse roles. If you're interested in joining, visit teamdane.com. Well, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, it is a very busy weekend around town, and we have got you covered. From an art exhibit made up of infested trees that might have been removed from your street to the annual Ironman and a chance to get tickets for some future weekend fun. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Well, welcome back. It's the weekend in the 608, and it's going to be a very busy weekend.
The UW's first home football game is today, but wait, there's more.
There is plenty more. Some of the best athletes in the Midwest are in Madison this weekend for the annual Ironman Wisconsin Triathlon. The competition starts with the swimming portion of the race starting at 6:40 tomorrow morning at Monona Terrace. Then the biking portion will cover a total of 112 miles across Dane County before the race wraps up with a marathon through downtown Madison and the UW campus and the finish on MLK Boulevard.
Of course, the race means there will be plenty of road closures as well. This is going to be for the biking and the running portions in the city of Madison. Closures should be expected for biking that will last from about 7:30 this morning until 5:30 Sunday evening. That includes East Lakeside Street, just east of John Nolan Drive, all in Turtle Court, and the Beltline on and off ramps from Rimrock Road, along with Badger Road, just west of Rimrock.
I saw traffic already backing up there yesterday, so definitely leave plenty of time. The running route will also have some major streets closed from noon until midnight tomorrow. That includes much of the Capitol Square, State Street, Langdon Street, University Avenue, Monroe Street, and West Dayton. We'll have links to all of these maps and closures over at channel3000.com.
Now, this weekend is your first chance to check out a brand new art exhibit made up of something old. The Playhouse Gallery at the Overture Center is hosting Phoenix from the Ashes. This is an exhibit of wood sculptures made from trees that had to be cut down by Madison parks due to infestations of emerald ash borers. 13 local woodworkers turned that loss into something beautiful. The artwork is on display until October 27th.
Did you lose any nearby trees to that?
I did not, no.
Okay, because my parents back home lost almost our entire street,
Really?
and it's
Oh,
very
my
eerie.
goodness.
You go
Yeah.
home and you see so much sky. Never saw that much blue. Well, also a reminder, don't forget to get your Freak Fest tickets this weekend so you can get ready for Halloween weekend. The annual Halloween concerts return to the Capitol Square and State Street on October 26th. This year's lineup was announced earlier this week. Lil Yachty, am I saying that right?
I don't know.
I know this next one. The Gin Blossoms are also serving as the headliners. You can get your tickets online or at a number of Madison stores along State Street. Our friends at Madison Magazine have a list of those locations over on our website as well.
I read it as Yachty, so you probably said it better than I would
I
have.
think I heard of a guy called Lil Yachty once.
Okay, well, there we go. Well, as always, excuse me. Yeah, go ahead.
Take it away.
All right, don't forget to pick up a copy of this month's Madison Magazine for all of the best the Madison area has to offer.
There's certainly a lot to offer,
Yes, sure
and
is.
there's a lot to offer on this beautiful day. Here's a live look over the Capitol.
That's right. I'll have your full forecast next on News 3 Now.
But first, let's take a look at who's 3 today. Happy birthday to Owen and all the other little kids turning 3.
Well, we are watching the sunrise over south central Wisconsin. A little bit of cloud cover towards the sky, but on the eastern horizon, here comes the sun, my friends. And of course, this is Badger Weekend as we kick off the football season. A lot of folks going to be going out to Camp Randall for the game. Temperatures will be in the 60s by lunchtime. Kickoff right around 2:30. Look for mostly cloudy skies and a temperature of 71. We'll stay in the 70s as clouds increase further towards the afternoon and evening. Winds will likely pick up out of the north and west at 5 to 10 miles per hour later on this afternoon and evening as well. 51 in Madison, of course, right now. Some 40s showing up. 48 in Watertown, Juneau at 49. And again, this is with the calm wind. Those winds will be picking up later after a breezy day on yesterday. But for now, things are doing pretty well for us. No showers or thunderstorms out there. High resolution Doppler picking up on a little bit of a radar attenuation. So you see the moisture in the atmosphere, but this is not actual rain coming down. Of course, skies are very clear. There are some showers, however, that are back towards the west, and those are going to try to stream in. They won't make it. The cloud cover, however, will make it, and that's why we're going to be looking at an increase in cloud cover as we go through most of the afternoon and evening. This is all as high pressure slides towards the south and east. This next area of low pressure will be moving in from the north and west. It's also going to keep us just unsettled enough for the cloud cover and the shower chances to last not just through the weekend, but into parts of early next week as well. And then eventually that warm front comes our direction, and you will know when that warm front comes our direction, there will certainly be a change. Let's go through the rest of today. Notice the cloud cover will be on the increase. Here we are this afternoon, temperatures topping out right around 71, and then look what starts to roll in from the west. Here comes that cloud cover. Then into Sunday, we'll begin to notice the rounds of showers and thunderstorms that come through here, especially earlier on in the afternoon on Sunday, and then another round perhaps Sunday night into your Monday. But notice this, winds are out of the east initially. What this does not go far enough to show is that these winds eventually turn out of the south, and when they do, we will see a warm up in temperatures. We're going 67 on Sunday, 70 on Monday, but then 84 for your Tuesday, staying in the 80s for Wednesday, and then we gradually slide those temperatures back down, especially with another cold front moving in Thursday night into Friday, and then Saturday itself likely will be a very chilly day. In fact, let's go ahead and show you how the precipitation shapes up with all of this unsettledness. Yeah, we'll have a rain chance for just about every single day in the work week ahead. None of those look to be washouts, but you're talking kind of a cloudy gray day on Sunday, then a little bit of sunshine Monday, then Monday into Tuesday, you're talking the 80s kind of rain with the showers and the thunderstorms, and that's what we're going to see Wednesday and Thursday as well. Friday could be another kind of gray, cool day before more sunshine on Saturday, and then Sunday and Monday look nice. I've also got a pet walk for us. This is Tango and Mercy in Oregon. Just looking absolutely beautiful. The type of dog those are is slipping my mind at the moment, but still some very cute pups. And if you're out walking your pups later on around 3 o'clock, look for mostly cloudy skies and temperatures around 71.
Yeah, don't put me on the spot either. I'm kind of afraid of dogs.
That's okay.
So I never really learned all the different breeds.
I know very few breeds, but that's all right.
Thanks, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, be sure to stick with News 3 Now all day long, and then tomorrow morning, learning about wine by walking through the vineyards that produced it. We have a behind-the-scenes look at the Italian-inspired tour stopping in Madison this weekend. It's pretty neat. You'll want to check that out. But first, you've probably seen the little free libraries in many Madison neighborhoods. Now, other local communities are using that same blueprint to help feed people in need. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back. We end this morning with our series, A More Perfect Union, which aims to show that what unites us as Americans is far greater than anything that divides us. In communities across the country, people are getting creative to make sure their neighbors do not go hungry.
Roughly 40 million Americans are food insecure, meaning they can't always afford food. Adriana Diaz visited one Minnesota neighborhood where a simple idea is helping many families in need.
Every day, when Jamie Hendricks gets home, she gets to work, checking her pantry and filling it up.
So what needs to be restocked today?
So today we need to restock some more of the vegetables and some more of the macaroni type of items.
But this food isn't for her family. It's for her community in St. Paul, Minnesota.
So what are you grabbing now for the pantry?
Toilet paper.
Okay.
The supplies are headed to her front yard, where she planted the North End Free Pantry. She got the idea from Little Free Libraries, where neighbors lend and borrow books. But she's replaced books with food. So many people took the free food, she had to replace her 2.5-foot cabinet with a 7-foot one.
That told me that we have a much bigger problem, a much bigger need in our community than what I had even thought. Every day when I come home and I check it, there's usually some things gone.
When, people are a few days away from their payday.
Right before rent, right after they paid their rent.
20% of people in St. Paul live below the poverty line. That's more than 8% above the national poverty rate. Angelique Rush knows what it's like to have to choose between paying bills and buying groceries for her husband and 4 kids.
Now we don't get paid for another 3 days, so we are at the pantry trying to figure out what we can feed the kids since they're out of school.
So what are you hoping to get here today?
Some breakfast and something that we can make so they can warm up when I'm at work.
Right.
Rush learned about the pantry on Facebook.
Here, deal.
She's gone to food banks, but they have limited hours, and some require proof of income. She says she and her husband make $75 too much to qualify for food stamps.
Having the pantry and it being anonymous, it helps a lot. It makes it so you don't have to answer to anybody or feel shameful. There's nothing worse than only having some things to feed your kids and not having what they want to eat. As a mom, it makes you feel really sad that they don't want to eat ramen noodles or they don't want to eat the soup you got, but they have to because you don't have anything else to feed them. It's really hard. I didn't mean to cry.
No, it's okay. I'm sure there's nothing harder than to hear them say they're hungry,
It's really hard.
Yeah. Has your life experience pushed you to do this for others?
We grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. That was the same with when my daughters were young. But we always found a way to be able to make it and to be able to help other people.
Free food pantries have popped up nationwide. More than 700 are listed in this online directory. Hendricks' neighbor Rosie Toole sees the impact.
How often do people come and take food?
Almost every day. It's not only that they're taking, but people almost 2-3 times a week bringing stuff.
Just it kind of provides a little bit of hope for people, and not just in the sense that there's something there, but that other people care. And so that in and of itself, I think, makes a big difference.
If everyone did a small thing like this for the community, what kind of world do you think this would be?
A non-hungry world, that's for sure. It would make it easier for people to survive.
It's not something we often think about because I've already been thinking about what I'm going to eat for breakfast, but I don't have any problem getting it.
There are several people, millions of people across America who struggle to know where that next meal comes from every single day. I think that's powerful stuff right there.
Yeah,
Keep that up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We're watching the forecast, of course, as it is a very busy weekend. You have the Ironman competition, you have the Badgers kickoff, you have Chili Mania down in Edgerton. It's so much more just going on in the community. Look for clouds increasing as we go through today. Temperatures will warm up to about 71 degrees. I don't suspect any rain out of the clouds until tomorrow. Sunday itself could likely be a gray and rainy day.
Good news for tailgaters. Go Badgers. 2:30 kickoff, and we'll see you at 8.